thank you. I appreciate that. Love being here. Virtual reality is taking off in a way that even a few years ago people just could not envision. Uh, it's almost like some of the movies that when Dick Tracy has his wristwatch that he talks to people and you don't realize that is a cell phone. The adoption is across a broad spectrum of areas. We were talking about medical. Um, I saw an application the other day where a doctor was doing surgery and broadcasting it to hundreds of students throughout the whole US. And it was like they were right there. They could actually shift their view. They could, rotate and see different parts of the incisions, which even talking about blows my mind. But the training aspect of it is pretty incredible. One of the things that MyndVR did, we have our own studios, and we had a care company want us to help them with training. When people read stuff, they just don't retain but like 30% of it. When they see it and experience it, they retain much, much more. So we did a whole series where caregivers were being trained. They would virtually go into a house, and let's say the senior, you're serving them lunch and they see spiders on their sandwich. What do you do? And we would give them options, and they would pick one, and it would play out, and you're there watching it all play out as if you're right in that room. If you picked the wrong option, it would tell you why and show you why it wasn't. If you picked the right option, it would play it out and show why that was the correct option. So there's just the potential of where these are going is limitless. And even what we're doing today is mind-bending in some aspects. The travel industry has been revolutionized. Cruise ships have taken a hard hit for COVID. A lot of them now, they got to keep those seats warm. They got to keep those customers interested. They're offering virtual cruises where you go onto their ship, you walk through it, you see the lavish cabins and the ornate meeting rooms and entertainment centers. And then you're on the bow watching it cut through the ocean. You arrive on a sandy beach, you look around, you see all the flora and fauna of a tropical forest. It's almost as if you were right there. And I tell you another area that has really, really taken off. Flight simulators. I'm sure most of it one time have played Microsoft aircraft or whatever. Typically, pilots that were in simulators, they were getting rotations and stuff like that, but it was just a flat screen in front of them to actually see what was happening when they did something. Now they're putting on virtual headsets, and there's not even a screen around them. They're on a gimbaled chair, and it is so lifelike that now on a 737, Boeing will give you your flight certificate going through a virtual reality simulator without ever putting your foot in a real plane. That's a big advance. So it's just amazing the kind of things that even today, like I say, boomers mostly think about it as gaming. But right now, AT&T has come out with an online app or a virtual app where you can go in their store, walk around the merchandise, look at it from different angles, and shop virtually. And it's like you're right there in the store. And that's something that boomers are experiencing now. So it's really taking off far beyond just the gaming aspect, and it's coming into people's personal lives now.
That's really amazing. I'll tell you, it's just coming to life in front of our very eyes, isn't it?
It is. It is. I've got to work with a lot of people that are in the VR fields, and some of the with some of the 8K video now with the high definition screens. Before, even when you were watching it, you could tell it was like watching a movie screen. But today with the 8K cameras, it is like you're actually there. And I tell you something that's funny. We saw someone that was actually experimenting with scents, and you were skiing through a pine forest, and they had a pine diffuser there. And I got to tell you, it was almost lifelike because the visual part was incredible, and you actually smelt the pine trees. That was a new one. I'd never seen anyone using the scent aspect of virtual reality, to combine it with all the other visuals that you do.
Yeah, well, we got a couple of questions. Adam says he's fascinated by VR use in the surgical environments, and he's wondering if that's going to really be growing. We see more of it, or how what you envision of it.
Yes, absolutely. They actually have it now where you can actually see the surgeon, but they can put sensors on the hands and you can wear gloves. And this sounds crazy, but honest to God, you can feel his hands moving as if you were in touching the organs, holding the scalpel. So besides just seeing it, they're now getting the tactile feedback that imprints it in memory. Just because I can watch people hit 100-mile-per-hour fastballs all day long doesn't mean I can do it. But when you start making muscle memory of actually doing it, now you're getting closer and closer as if you were experiencing it for your very self.
Yeah. So does that muscle memory relate to older Americans who need to improve that kind of instinct about their muscle development?
It's a fascinating aspect. There's applications now where you can virtually play a guitar and you can actually feel the strings on your fingers. So your body is going through all the motions, making all the same synapses, making all the same wiring as if you actually were holding a guitar in your hand and playing it. So when you actually get a guitar in your hand, it feels natural. It's something you feel you've done before. It doesn't feel foreign. And physical therapy is another area that they're making incredible bounds on the medical field where uh, let's say there's a certain motion I need you to make. I have to make you reach over a log. So virtually, I have a log here and you have to reach over it because I'm trying to articulate your shoulder socket. They're doing such a good job now with virtual reality that a therapist can be leading 10, 15 virtual sessions or of clients who are all over the nation, and they're effective. They actually are doing the physical therapy as if they're right there in the office with you. And you can monitor them too. You can see their heart rate. Quite a few of them have seen the Pelotons now where they're trying to simulate that you're actually in a riding pack when you're on the cycle, but you can see heart rate. They can see so many different things about you now by combining internet-enabled devices with virtual reality. It's almost if they were right there with you.
This is from Joel. He's asking you to put on your crystal ball, and I know personally this has been around a while, but Joel is asking, where do you think it'll all be going?
There's a lot of development now in what we were talking about more with tactile feedback. Right now, virtual reality really is still more visual and auditory from your inner ear. They're getting gloves and motion sensors so that you're actually going to start getting tactile feedback. So if you were climbing a mountain, you would actually feel your hand wrapping around the rocks as you were climbing, which is totally different than just moving up it in a video. Now you're actually feeling everything that's happening around you. And there's a company now that has a headset that actually will put forth scents such as smoke if there's a fire or an explosion. I can't remember how. It's like 32 different scents now, and I'm saying scents as in smell that lets you experience it. The incredible thing about that is your brain is really being tricked into thinking it is actually being there and doing that. And you have a vivid memory of doing it as if you had done it yesterday. So the tactical, auditory, and nasal, all of those feedbacks, probably 5 years from now, you'll be able to row in your living room, feel and smell salt spray on your face, actually have resistance in your arms as if those oars were going through water such that you build up a sweat, and have all the experiences as if you were actually rowing that boat in the water. the things they're doing now, tactical feedback, are incredible.
Well, it's exciting. Well, Jim, this is another good one, and we've got another show coming up. What are we going to be talking about then?
Well, we're going to be talking about a lot of the future applications. There's a lot of things coming down the pike that even just 2 or 3 years ago, no one would have foreseen. And some of the things they're working on now by integrating virtual reality with some of the more higher processor computers, the tactical feedback, there's some applications coming down that are almost going to seem realistic.
That's it already is futuristic, and to imagine it even being more so, that's really exciting. Well, listen,
Right.
I really another good show, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. And in the meantime, thanks and have a great weekend.
Well, you too. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Jim.